beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. All right, you guys, we're here today to talk about Married to Medicine. And I've been trying to do this video for the past 2 days. However, at least once a year, my computer starts messing up. It don't want me to be great and it don't want to upload. And I was just losing stuff. So we're going to try it again. Thankfully, it did all that before I was able to do the entire video. So we're going to try to get through this video and get it up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the beautiful people family. Like the video, you guys. It does wonders for the algorithms. The algorithms. Yeah, we're just going to keep it there because the other one is just not coming to me. All right, y'all. I just want to state for the record that I am still not doing Potomac because I am disappointed as shit in Potomac. Like, I'm bored. It's a snooze fest. I have actually fallen asleep on how many we had so far? 2. Both, it's just not good. It's not giving at all. Basketball Wives is up next. I'm going to try to knock out 2 today. Basketball Wives is actually way better than freaking Potomac right now. So I cannot. I'll pick up if they ever talk about anything that I care about. And then now they're getting into this whole thing of the African stuff with Ashley not knowing what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about. The new girl that I can't stand already. I don't like the way she speaks. I don't like the way she comes off. I don't like anything about her, but her, and we're talking about putting curses on people and voodoo and all that shit. I'm not interested. Not at all. Like, I'm so checked out. So, not doing Potomac right now, still right now. All right, let's get to this one. All right, you guys. So the episode opened with a bunch of different, little things where they show them doing little things. But we're going to start off with Jackie and Simone. Simone is taking lunch over to Jackie. And again, I love them being back together. I love them, like, being normal again. Having lunch, stuff that we're used to seeing them do without fighting and all that. I love it. Excuse me. They're talking about sweet tea. And Jackie says she's more like NutraSweet now, huh? Lord, she was, she had a little meltdown. And Dr. Simone said, yeah, she had a little meltdown. She's trying to get everything perfect for Dr. G. And he's not helping her. She's not supported, yada, yada. And she's like, Dr. Jackie says, oh, Lord. And she said, well, go ahead and get her a 1-month life coach. Dr. Simone says she's too busy to do that. And my whole thing is, get someone else to do it. Like, why are you planning your own wedding? Get someone else to do it, like I said before. But they start talking about how, she says she wanted an assistant. Sweet Tea says she wanted an assistant. And Dr. Jackie was like, an assistant? Yeah, she wants somebody to go grocery shopping for her. And then when she comes in, all she has to do is cook because Dr. G expects his meals when he get home. And my whole thing is, she work from home. So get in from where, sis? Where you going? Go to the goddamn grocery store. If you got to leave the house, go to the grocery store. Come back and cook for this man. And serve it to him on the real plates. The real plates. Like, I don't understand what the problem is with trying to get some help. So I don't want to hear it. But Dr. Simone starts talking about how entitled these younger kids are, which they are, or the young adults. And she's saying how she had a toddler, she was in med school, she was married, she was juggling all these things without help. And yeah, they're very, very different now. Very different now. So what can we do? But it was a cute little scene, and we leave it there. All right, next up we have Dr. Heavenly meeting up with, is her name Tisha, y'all? Y'all know I'm terrible with names. We just gonna call her Tisha. Meeting up with Tisha in her cowboy hat for lunch or something, and she's, they're doing shots and talking about, just getting married in general, and Dr. Heavenly is trying to tell her to, have her own. She's like, my mom always said that it's nice to have a man, but always have your own. And she's like, yeah. I don't ask him for no money. And Dr. Heavenly said, well, he paid for everything. Shit, you don't have to. She's so dumb. And it's true. And she's like, well, yeah, but she said, I'm trying to think about retirement and, funds for that. And life insurance and all that. Dr. Heavenly said, well, yeah, because she says, Dr. Gregory don't give a shit about that. And she's like, yeah, because he's going to go before you. And I'm like, he sure is. So you probably want to make sure that life insurance is paid up, sis. So Dr. Heavenly asks her, does he ever throw it up in your face that he pays for everything? And then we get all these flashbacks of him saying, well, do you pay rent? Do you pay this? And I'm like, he is talking to her literally like he's her father. Y'all, I dated a guy that was 7 years older than me, and we had to have a sit down for real. And I was just like, yo, dude, you are not my father. Like, don't parent me. I don't need you to parent me because that is exactly what you're trying to do. And that is exactly what Dr. G is doing. And she's saying the same thing. Like, you're not my father. Because she said that he had a problem with her not putting the alarm on, just like some little kid shit. She keep forgetting to put the alarm on or whatever when she leaves. So he lied and told her that people broke in with guns and everything, trying to teach her a lesson. And she was like, I went off on him. And I'm like, I'm sure you did because you are fucking unstable. We're going to get to it though. And she's like, he's trying to teach me a lesson. And I'm like, that's some stuff that you do to your kid. Like, for real. That's some mind games that you play with your kid. So Dr. G, I don't know. And then Dr. Heavenly says, listen, she is saying some of the same stuff that Quad said. I feel like I'm talking to Quad. And then we see Sweet Tea saying, yeah, Quad was right about some things. And I'm like, girl, mm-hmm. And she also said that when they get into it or whatever, sometimes he says to her, well, you sound like Quad. You're saying some of the same stuff that Quad said. And I said, well, what does that mean, Dr. G? What's the common denominator here? Like, what's the problem? She says she tries to explain to him that everything is not monetary. Like, it's not that. And then it's so funny because exactly what she said, we see a flashback of Quad saying the same thing. Love is not monetary. I am not talking about anything monetary. I'm talking about you being connected. And he's steady screaming about taking care of her since the day he met her, yada, yada. Like, oh, Dr. G. So Dr. Heavenly said, yeah, Quad was right to divorce him, and Sweet Tea better think twice, basically. And so she asked, well, what are you guys going to do? What happens after you're married? And she said, well, we're going to figure it out. Dr. Heavenly said, child. I said, I know, Dr. Heavenly, child. Yeah, next we have Simone and Cecil out to dinner with both of their boys. And when I tell you, young adults crack me up. And they don't even, like, they crack me up. Her boys, her youngest boy has always been funny. Her youngest son has always been funny. But we're talking about them in college and what they're doing. So we find out the oldest one went to Howard at first. He came back, went to Georgetown, took a year off back at Georgetown. And her youngest son is still at school. And she's like, how are you doing with tests or whatever? And he's like, oh, funny you should ask that. I had a test, didn't even know it, a biology test. He ended up saying he got a B, but she was like, I'm disappointed. Like, he's not studying as hard as he should be and everything. And he's talking about coming back home too. And she's like, to live in my house. And Cecil is like, yeah, what? It's so fun. Like, y'all, what does Cecil do again? Because he's like, we got the means and we can do it and we can help them and do whatever. So he, excuse me. He's the real lenient parent that wants to just give them whatever. And she told them that you guys are very entitled. Her youngest son said, well, thanks for entitling us. And I'm like, damn, these kids. But Cecil is just like, listen, we have the means to do it. She said, oh, okay, so we're just going to let them waste all the means. Sidebar. Dr. Simone looks really pretty in this confessional with this updo or whatever. Like her ponytail, like the hair is sitting. She looks really pretty. Her makeup is good. Dr. Simone has really stepped it up this year, you guys. Okay, so I got off track. So they end up telling the son, listen, he said, well, you can give me an apartment, when I come home from school. And she's like, why would I do that? And he's like, so I won't live in your house. And then the father is like, well, if you come, Cecil's like, well, if you come and you go to Georgetown with your brother, then we might do an investment property. But me and your mom got to be on the same page. She's like, and we're never on the same page. We're never in the same book. Like, we're never anywhere near, agreeing on anything. And yeah, we just left it with her saying that they were very entitled and she don't want them just having it. And she's just throwing money at them and they're not doing all that they can to, succeed. but she probably will. You know how parents are. Y'all, next we're in the kitchen with Dr. Heavenly and Alora. And Alora looks so pretty. She looks greasy as shit, but she looks pretty. And she's coming to help her cook some spaghetti. And Dr. Heavenly's so nasty. She's like, well, when you get married, you're going to have to cook for your husband. She said, he ain't going to want no spaghetti. And Dr. Heavenly say, he is. And I'm going to help you learn how to cook it. You just got to put a little something in it. And she's like, what do you put in it? I'll tell you later. So nasty. She's so nasty. Dr. Damon come walking in and he's like, "Oh, hey everybody. Hey everybody." Y'all know how he talk. So they're talking to Allura about going to school and they really really don't want her to go away. So he's like, "Yeah, and in school they're going to be drinking and stuff like that. Like, you don't need to do that. Like, don't do that." And she's like, "Well, didn't you guys do that?" "Yeah, we did that, but you don't need to do that." Yeah, when I tell you I cracked up at this whole thing, like the way him and Dr. Heavenly bounced off of each other and the fact that Dr. Damon is so like he's so monotone, like everything is the same. You don't know that he's joking when he's joking. So she's talking about, well, you know, Dr. Heavenly, I had the whole experience. I had a boyfriend. And she asked her dad, well, did you have a girlfriend? And Dr. Heavenly said, Daddy, no, say no, Daddy. And I'm like, this fool, y'all know she's so possessive. And he's like, yeah, well, not for the first year, but then they got to the whole, they've been together for 26 years, so it's a beautiful thing. He said when he first saw her and kissed her somewhere in the school or something, that he knew he was going to be with her forever. And she's like, that don't sound good. You kissing me all in the back of the school and stuff. Y'all, they so stupid. So they're telling her, she's like, listen, you guys went away. She wants to go to FAMU. And she's like, you guys went away. I don't understand why it's such a big deal. Dr. Heavenly said, everything is so different now. They got the internet and the outer net and AI. And Dr. Dr. Damon jumps in and he's like, and the weather has been so unpredictable and it is just really crazy lately. And I'm like, this man has not cracked a smile. And they're stupid, but I got my life. I definitely laughed. But then he tells her, listen, if it was your brothers going away, well, they did go away. I'm fine with that because I know that they can handle themselves. And he's like, sorry if it sounds sexist, but if something is to bother you, something is wrong with you, going on with you, I need to be able to get to you within an hour and a half. And I'm like, preach. I'm telling you. Yeah, I worked downtown in Chicago and couldn't get to my baby. My baby was sick and the train, you got to wait for the train, the metro and all that. And I could not get to my baby for, I think it took like over 2 hours to get to her. And I was like, can't do it. Cannot do it. I got to get to my baby. And she was still little at the time. But yeah, such a super cute scene. And Alora's so pretty. Dr. Heavenly gonna tell her to stay and go to Spelman because she could still work run the beauty supply. And I'm like, work? Work? That don't sound like a perk. Mm-mm. Oh, y'all, Dr. Damon was crying in the confessional at the thought of his baby girl leaving. Oh, and she just kept calling it out. He said, well, you the one, calling it out, telling everybody. She wiping his eyes and everything. Oh, he's sniffling. That's so sweet. So sweet. I love Dr. Damon. His voice, just everything puts you in a good mood. All right, next we have Eugene with his boys, and they're out shoe shopping, blah. And he's like, oh, I want to spend more time with you guys now that you're getting older. And one of the sons is like, so you're lonely? I'm like, pretty much. He's like, no, I just want to do things and have memories and everything. So he's like, we need to have talks, like, I know we were having this, talk about sex or whatever in front of your mom, but is there anything that you want to know with just me? And the son is like, yeah, what's a period? He goes, huh? Oh, listen, that's a mama question. And then he, proceeds to explain, about the woman bleeding and the uterus shedding and they had questions or whatever. And he's like, I think I did pretty good. I think I did probably better than what Toya would have done. And I'm like, yeah, because you're a doctor and she's an idiot. Like, Toya is less than smart. So, no, she would not have been able to really explain it like that. Yeah. And then we fast forward because I don't give a shit about Eugene. Sorry. All right, you guys. So the ladies are coming into this pamper party. First of all, we have Cecil telling Dr. Simone about the bachelor party bus or whatever that they have for Dr. G. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna go and do some yoga. She's like, yeah, okay. So then we're at this party and Dr. Heavenly comes in, y'all, and it's a lingerie party. I've never understood why women want to sit around other women in lingerie. I don't get it, but okay. But they look good. Dr. Heavenly, her body is bodying. I said, okay, come through, Dr. Heavenly. Or maybe it was the walk or something. She was killing it. She came through the door. She said, listen, don't touch me. I'm married. I said, that's what I'm talking about. She told the other one, I have a son your age. Back up, back up. Dr. Toya says, nah, he 35 still. He's still a baby. So I'm gonna need you to move. Who else comes in? Dr. Simone comes in. She looks good. She has on, they call her Inspector Gadget. She has on like this cape type of coat. It's really cute. They all look really nice. Phaedra is half dressed, like you can see everything. Dr. Heavenly is telling her how she can still see her nipples through. Yeah, you're trying to hide them. I can still see them. She said, oh, well, my nipples are very large because I breastfed too long. And I'm like, y'all know Phaedra love just being nasty and talking about nasty. Like she's fine. And Dr. Heavenly too. Like I feel like they're about what and what. And later on in the episode when they was doing stuff, they was like feeling on each other's booties. Booties. They booties. They really were. I didn't miss it. I'm like, these girls, what happens? What's happening here? But anyway, we're coming through the door and then we have this new girl. I can't remember her name, but what is she supposed to be doing here? Like what's she doing? Y'all can't stand them. So Dr. Heavenly is getting a massage, and this fool is sitting in this chair bouncing while he's massaging her neck. One of them come and Phaedra comes and she puts some whipped cream on her cleavage, and she starts like. I'm just like, oh my god, she making all this noise and bouncing, and then Dr. Simone just said she came. I'm like, these fools. Yeah, I like seeing them have a good time, like without all the drama and everything. When they get along, and it's cute. All right, so now we're getting on the party bus with the men. They meet up at Cecil's bar. They, have a little drink or whatever before they go, a little pregame, talk about what they got planned. And what's his name? Dr. G said he's back in the game now. They said, you out the game now. You back in the club now. Like, this is it. They walk out to the bus, and as they're going out there, he's looking through the window like, oh, I see it. I see through the windows. They like, you don't see nothing. It's so funny. They have balloons that say second time up there. They got some big booty girls in there shaking it. And when I say it was shaking, it was a lot. I mean, I guess it's not for me because it's for men, because it just didn't look real or natural, or, I mean, I guess it's never going to look good to me, but I was just like, yeah, but they liked it. They were happy through the door. They had little like money. You know how they had the Usher bucks or whatever with his picture on it. So they had some little money with his picture on it. It was cute. But yeah, the men are very happy right now. Y'all, these men are out of control. We end up going back to the ladies first, though, and they're not doing anything. They have the men catering to, what's her name comes out, the bride, Sweet Pea or whatever, Sweet Tea, whatever the hell her name is. She comes out. She looked all right. Her sister, and I guess her best friend. And it's so funny because Jackie was just on that couch, like, all the ladies were like, woo, yay, here's the bride. She was just looking. And I'm like, yeah, I would be Jackie. So we got these little guys just like all over her. They're rubbing on boobs and everything. She's like, don't get me in trouble doing the whipped cream in the mouth and all that. I'm just not about it, y'all. Like, I just feel like, I mean, maybe I'm a prude, but I mean, it's fine for them. That's fine. But doing all that in front of people and in front of women, and I don't know, I just never, okay, I'm a prude. We'll just say it, I guess. Not really, but so we're back with the men, and the men are having a good time, like a really good time. Dr. G stands up and says they tell him to take his pants down. If I take my pants down, I'm not putting them back up. And I said, please leave them up then. He's motorboating. She's at the party talking about how conservative her man is. Girl, bye. He's motorboating, like for real, motorboating this girl. And they're just having a really good time. Dr. Curtis has one of the girl's hands smacking the other girl's hands with ass with her hand. It's still inappropriate, Curtis, inappropriate. But they're having a good time. Excuse me. The ladies are having a good time, so it is what it is. All right, y'all. So back with the women, and the bride gets a phone call, and it's just so weird. She just so happened to have her phone with her in her hand, and she puts it on speaker, and it's her wedding planner, and I'm like, who? Who? You had a wedding planner and you super stressed out, girl? What the fuck? But okay. And the wedding planner is talking about how they had to change venues last minute and they have to pay extra for the drapery and yada yada, and it's gonna be an extra $13,000 or $14,000. And she's like, what? And then we get to the confessional and Toya's like, they ain't got it. And I'm like, Toya, shut your face. Like, how you gonna say somebody ain't got it? Um, but she's all upset or whatever. So her sister, her twin, is sitting right next to her, and she's like, calm down, it's gonna be okay. This broad loses her shit. Like, she is unstable for real. She's just like, don't touch me, don't touch me. And she's going crazy. Her sister's like, I'm trying to help you. I don't need you to help me. She's screaming at the top of her lungs, and then she's storming off. They're trying to get her out of there, and she's screaming like, ah, ah. And I could swear I saw Toya like smirking and Dr. Heavenly smirking, because the other ladies just sat there while I think Phaedra and somebody else was trying to get her out, and some of the producers. And I'm just like, this shit just seems so put on, because you guys, it made no sense. Like, her reaction to her sister trying to help her or tell her it made absolutely no sense. So either she's unstable as shit, or she's a terrible actress, and we can see that it's put on. Like, either way, excuse me, either way, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm bored with it. I didn't like it. She's just ridiculous. I do not like this girl. She's a waste of our time, but we move. All right, so I think we're wrapping up the men. They make it to the gentlemen's club where there's more TNA all around, all the strippers and everything. And I'm not gonna do not blow by blow, Lord, play by play. But we'll just say that Dr. G was having a time. He even invited one of the strippers to his wedding. They're like, no, you can't do that. He's like, I can do whatever I want to do. This ain't the best man, and no, you can't. And Curtis, where we see him and Dr. Jackie in the confessional, and she says, listen, Curtis knows the rules, no touching. You can look all you want, everything, no touching. So then he has some girl, Bella, on him. He's like, Bella, you're going to get me in trouble. And she's just like all over him. And Curtis is touching. I'm sorry. He's touching her waist. I don't care, that's touching. And he's like, my wife got a gun. And I'm like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Y'all, that's my answer to everything now. I got a gun. I got a gun. So, like, that is the answer to everything, which hopefully I will never have to use, but I got a gun. So yeah, we wrap it up with them. That's fine. We go back to Goof Troop. This goofy ass girl. Yeah, we back with the ladies, and it's the phoniest shit ever. This girl and her sister are suddenly fine. She's coming out dabbing her eyes, ain't shit there. They sit down getting massages or whatever. You okay? Oh yeah, I'm okay. All the ladies are sitting there getting massages. Then suddenly Phaedra gets a text like, I'm outside. She gets up, she goes to the door. Who comes through the door? She's like, what the people doing? I said, Quad, Miss Quad. Come on in, Miss Thing. She comes in. Y'all know Quad look good. And she's like, oh, hey, everybody. And everybody's mouth is open. The only one screaming is Dr. Heavenly. First of all, before Quad get there, Dr. Heavenly is sitting there talking when the sisters are still in the bathroom or whatever. She's telling them they don't need to be getting married. I just had a conversation with her. She said Dr. G is still very controlling, which is what Quad, like, she's going on and on. And we have the the maid of honor still sitting out there listening to all this shit. She's like, I just don't want to be the one that say, later on, I told you so. And in the confessional, they talking about how shady she is. Yeah, she's so shady. And I'm like, Dr. Heavenly did not a bit more want this girl on this show to be her friend. She just didn't. I'm mad at it, but she didn't. So again, Quad comes through the door. All the mouths are open. Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, of course Toya, because you know Toya they can't stand each other. And again, Dr. Heavenly is screaming. She's so happy. She's like, oh my God, like she's screaming. And again, Quad looks good. You know, the twins, their mouths are open or whatever, because what is she doing here? Oh, because it's her platform. It's the show that she's been on since season one. That's what she's doing here. Y'all, Toya is pissed off. She's so pissed off. Quad comes in. She has gifts for the girl. They introduce her to the twins or whatever. She gives her the gifts. The girl says, not the girl, what's her name? Tisha, whatever. Come sit next to me, Quad. Toya says, oh my God, ain't that crazy? She said, come sit next to me, Quad. And Quad goes to sit next to her and she's like, listen, it's a pleasure to meet you. I just want you to know there's no animosity. She's like, I come bearing gifts. We're all good. The girl is just smiling. Her and her sister smiling all up in Quad's face. Like, all up in Quad's face. I feel like they were kind of starstruck. It's the craziest shit ever. And so in the confessional, the bride or whatever, what's her name, Tisha, she's like, nah, I gotta smile through this bullshit. And I'm like, nah, it looks like you are genuinely happy. Like it does. And then Toya starts to speak and she's standing up and she's like, listen, I just gotta say something. And she's like, you. And both Quad and the girl look at her and she's talking to the girl. What's her name? Tisha. And I'm like, I know good and goddamn well she ain't talking to Quad, talking about some you. That wouldn't fly. But no, she was not. She was talking to the girl, what's her name? Tisha. I'm gonna learn her name, y'all. Or not. All right, y'all. So we're gonna end it with Toya having a meltdown of her own, and she's like going off on the girl about the fact that you know you didn't want anyone to speak about Phaedra just a week ago, and now you're acting all super chummy with her. And she's like, "Well, it's my event," and Toya says, "No, it's my event that I'm giving for you." And I was like, "Oh, they have zero respect for this girl. Like they feel like she's a child, and that's how they speak to her. Telling her you, and like." She has zero respect for this girl. So she ends up saying, listen, you need to take, she tells Phaedra, because we come to find out Phaedra's the one that invited her. She said, listen, everybody was talking about her. Y'all was missing her so bad. So I just had her come. She's like, Phaedra, you need to walk your friend out. So Quad stands up. She asks the girl, Tisha, that's her name, right? And she's like, should I leave? Do you want me to stay? She's like, well, for this occasion, I think you should go. Like she did not want to tell her to go. Like she's scared of Quad or whatever. She couldn't even look at her in her eyes. I swear to God, she loves Quad. Like she is a fan of Quads. And so Quad is like, okay, fine. See you guys later. Dr. Heavenly's like, call me. And that's pretty much where we end, you guys, with Toya being upset. And she's like, I'm leaving. I'm done. We don't give a shit. And then in the confessional, Dr. Heavenly is like, that's a lost cause. And then we see the flashback of the reason why they will just probably never be friends because of the whole allegation of Dr. Toya having Anila's house broken into and all that, and Quad pretty much standing on it. Quad saying that Dr. Toya did it, and then Dr. Toya saying that Quad was sleeping with the contractors to get her house done. Just stupid shit. But they don't like each other, and that's fine. It's fine. Quad said, look, if Toya could get me out of this group and this friend circle, she would just slide me under the bus with ease. And I'm like, she sure would, but Toya can fuck off. Y'all know I don't like Toya at all. So that's it. That's where the episode ends. And again, you guys, so much better than Potomac. It's just so much better than Potomac. I will attempt to do, it's only 6:37, y'all. It really, really feels late as shit right now. Like, it really does. But it's only 6:37. So I feel like if I can export this and save it, then I'll try to get Basketball Wives out the way, because Basketball Wives was good too. What did the kids say? Activated? Evelyn was really activated on this episode of Basketball Wives, but I enjoyed it. I was entertained, just like I was entertained by this one. So again, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the Beautiful People family. Like the video, let's talk about it, and I'll see you guys. Oh, I have to say, if you made it this far, you are the real MVP. Seriously, thank you. I'll see you guys in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video. Smooches.